Hi, I'm Peter from Coffee Parts, and today we're looking at the Cafelat Robot Espresso Maker. The Cafelat Robot Espresso Maker. Now this is a slow coffee made well. It reminds me of machines of the past where they're just built solid, beautifully, no plastic, not a disposable machine. I look at it and I can't work out if it's the machine that I want to use or put on the display shelf, but it does bring emotion in me. Maybe it's the kid in me, but I can't help but smile using this machine. Now, making coffee on the Cafelat. It is a bit of a different process. Effectively, we got 18 grams, which we're gonna grind here. Now we've got our 18 grams of coffee. We're gonna remove the portafilter. Now we just lift up the arms, the chamber comes down, bring the arms back down and just pull the basket down. So that it's just that little O-ring holding the basket. Now with this, we just tip it in and we give it a tamp. We're using the extra tamper that comes with the Cafelat. And after that, we're gonna put our dispersion screen in there. Putting it on the scale, we're gonna tar it back down to 0. And we wanna put 60 mils, so 60 grams of water, and we've got it just off the boil at 98 degrees. Just a touch over 60. Now we're gonna lock it into the Cafelat, bring up the handles, put it in straight, all the way up to the top and turn it. The first time round it is a little bit tricky to do, but you do get used to it. With the cup under it, I wanna bring it down and just feel pressure and then back off slightly and then bring it down again, hoping to aim for 8 bars. Now, on this, it's common to run it at about a bit longer. Generally, it might take around the 40-second mark. And there we have the coffee. Very traditional espresso. Now, if we bring it back up, you just bring that down. And when we bring it down, we can just pull that basket out, take out the dispersion screen and knock it out. Now, this machine just reminds me of machines of the past, where they were built solid, full metal, not plastic, not disposable, but it does enact emotion in me. Maybe I'm just a kid, but looking at it does make me smile. Obviously we have it here in the blue. They do come in other fun colors like the green, red, and black. And there's just something about it. A few years ago, I caught up with Paul Pratt, the designer and manufacturer of this machine in Hong Kong. And when I saw his setup and understood that all these machines were not only handmade, but Paul kind of sat there overlooking and really basically ticked off every machine, I was trying to work out, have we gone back in time in manufacturing processes? Was this the way it should be? Not mass produced, not just pumped out a factory line. Something felt good, and considering it was a slow process and it's a slow way of making coffee, it does all feel really balanced. So here we are, we've got the Cafelat here, and we want to dive deeper what it comes with, how to use it, what extras we used, and what you would need at home. So, first things first, when you open it out of the box, there are 2 models. This is the Barista model, which effectively has the gauge here. So when you're pulling your shot, you can see that you're hitting that 8 or 9 bars. Very handy in my opinion, and also looks a little bit cooler. And it comes with a portafilter, which in this case is the brew chamber and the whole unit put together. How it works is your portafilter has the filter basket in it. Now you can get them as a standard or pressurized basket. We obviously prefer the standard because pressurized is generally for pre-ground or coffee that's a bit more aged. And inside, after you put coffee in, you got your dispersion screen that sits on top and the water sits on top of that. Now, the proprietary design and the way Paul's explained it is with the thickness of the basket here, actually doesn't need preheating. Once you got your coffee, it comes with a tamper. This tamper is simple to use. You press down the coffee either with your hand or using your 2 thumbs. But personally, I'll definitely get the extra tamper made by Cafelat. Just makes it so much easier to tamp more traditionally. The way it holds, you know you're always going to be level, and it sits quite flush. Now, with this portafilter, we're using it as a naked or bottomless, which I presume most people would. But if you wanted to convert it into a double spout, you just got the base here that has an O-ring, and you just push it on, and the base can move, so you can have the spouts pointing whichever way you want when you're making coffee. In saying that, you've got your rubber mount here, which is made for 2 cups. I tend to find when we're using the naked, we're not using the rubber and just putting the cup straight on the bottom there. Other machines on the market that this is comparable with would be something like the Flare 58. Now, the Flare 58 is cool in that it uses a commercial portafilter. Same kind of portafilter you use in an E61 group head or something like a La Marzocco group head. So if you had at home a Rocket or La Marzocco and you'd bought other portafilters, say Passado, etc., not only can you use those portafilters, you can use your IMS or VSC filter baskets, you can use the tampers you've collected, something like the Pullman Big Step, or so all your gear that you do have running your other espresso machine, you can use on the Flare, and it makes it quite cool in that respect. But they are different machines. What the Cafelat really does to me is really enact that slow coffee, that moment in time where you slow down and make coffee old school. And I really like it. Now with this, it brought me back to my Cremina 67 model, the original Olympia Cremina lever machine. Slow to use, very finicky, but the results were amazing. And I couldn't help but compare that to the Cremina, even though they're like worlds apart. I don't know how to end on this machine, but it's definitely a machine I would love to have on my shelf at home to pull out every so often. Like that vintage car that you go out for your weekend drive. There's just something about it that just ignites joy in me. I can't explain it, but I'm super happy with it. Thank you for watching this video on the Cafelat Robot. If you've liked this video, we are going to make another video comparing the Cafelat Robot to the Flare 58, so you can run that comparison, and comparing the Cafelat Robot to the vintage Olympia that we have. Thank you again, hit that subscribe button. I'm Pedro from Coffee Parts.